All right, everyone, we've got another game from Artisan Studios, makers of Astria Ascending, which is a game that is on my wish list, but I haven't yet played because it has so reviews. There's some good things about it. There's some things that people aren't liking, and so it just hasn't made its way to the top of my queue just yet. But this game legitimately looks amazing. It looks so cool. They're kind of pegging it as this hand-painted game, Japanese inspired. So let's take a look at it. So it's this world where everybody upon birth, they're tied to one of the 7 deadly sins. And we're going to look at the story afterwards, but for now we just have to enjoy this. Everyone, they have to fight against their urges, and there's kind of like a church that takes care of them slash, you know, restricts them. So action RPG. We're seeing a lot of really cool, like kind of hand-painted, like pre-rendered background type situations. And they say it's 2D, but like it looks very 3D in moments. Fate worse than death. They become monsters. If you give in to your sins, you become a monster. So just like these portraits are beautiful. And I know I'm blocking one of them right now, but you can see in the background, like the characters are there, the portraits that are zoomed in, they're actually the same illustration on both the zoom in and just how you walk around the world. It's just obviously when they're zoomed in, they look really good. So just the background, Hitoshi Sakimoto. Okay. This guy, probably my favorite composer, even more than Uematsu. Like honestly, Hitoshi Sakimoto is one of my favorites of all time. Makes such his songs just make you go. Okay, so that's huge. Okay, big world. Look at all these different scenes. It looks so good. That was looked okay. Oh my god. Okay, hold on a second here. Like, look at this little workshop that he's walked into. The detail on every single little piece. I really like this style. Like, I really very much enjoy it, even though the main character is a little bit emo in a way. Okay. Walking animation kind of odd, but not a a deal breaker. But yeah, game looks good. You can't really like criticize based on this. Everything looks freaking awesome. We've got music, there was taunts, there was actions. Like there's a lot of stuff going on there. Look at all these characters looking really good. You can wishlist it on Steam. So real quick, we'll go back. So look at this down in the bottom left. Okay, we have a bar that's charging up. We have an attack button. We have an actions. There's a focus. There's guard, depending on the character that you have. So when we were using this guy, it was the main character, I guess. He has the taunt there. He has focus. He has a gauge that's like charging up. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I don't know, how movement really works, how important dodging is going to be, or if guarding is going to be the main thing. But either way, it looks like it's blending action and RPG stuff. I'm all for that. Really, I really am. Turn-based is what I'd prefer overall, but this looks really good. Okay, so let's take a look at more details for this, because honestly, I read this morning. I didn't watch the trailer until I got home from work, and when I read this, it got me so interested in it, not just because of the illustrations, not just because of the music direction by one of my favorite composers ever, but because of the actual detail of the story here. So this is Lost Hellden. It's made by the same people that made Astria Ascending and Super Neptunia, which I had to Google and didn't really seem like my thing, but is also kind of like a very detailed drawn RPG, but it's like kind of magical girls, so not really my thing. But either way, looks really awesome. It's coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, Switch, PC via Steam, Epic Games Store, and GOG in 2025. So we have a very long way until we get this, okay? So overview here. Really cool information. I'm going to try not to cover it with my camera. So Lost Hellden is a unique hand-painted JRPG from Artisan Studios, enhanced by dynamic lighting and weather effects. We saw a bit of that in the trailer. You can take control of 8 unique, highly customizable characters, and you can take them through an epic, mature story where the 7 deadly sins guide your fate. Sign me up. Okay. So what does that mean? We've got a deep 2D technology allowing you to play in 3D hand-painted artworks. Okay, sure. And then a battle system that mixes action and strategy so you can play the way that you like. The story, it's a planet called Era, and everybody is bound to one of these 7 deadly sins before their first birthday via a religious ceremony called the Nexus Ritual. And all their life, the inhabitants of this world, Era, have to fight against their urge. If they don't, they transform into mindless and aggressive beasts. The Unio religion representatives, the Archons, are there to ensure that everybody follows the rules, and they put down the monsters that people become in the city. Like, you know, if they're in the cities or whatever, they take them out. So one day, a woman gives birth to twins, something that has never happened before. By the way, I'm a twin, so, you know, pretty big deal. Twins were really cool. The Prime Archon, supreme leader of Era, conducts the Nexus Ritual himself. Wow, big deal. And however, something goes wrong because one baby is bound to all 7 sins, and while the other receives none. So he kind of messed up, was what I'm hearing here. The twins are taken to the capital, Avila, so that's the capital, where they are brought up as Archon apprentices, and they are never allowed to leave the walls of the sanctuary. Okay, building, you know, maybe there's going to be some discontent or, you know, angst around that. So one day, the twin bound to the 7 sins manages to leave the city. His brother, Seifel, is sent on a mission to bring him back, and he is accompanied by 2 seasoned Archons, Graham and Enki. So the journey of Seifel and Let is one of self-discovery, one that will allow them to grow and become the people they were destined to be. And we've got some screenshots here. We saw these in the trailer, so like these aren't new screenshots, but you can check it out. And like, this is kind of interesting. This makes me think of Kingdom Hearts here, where you have like you hold the button or whatever, you go to actions, and then boom, there's your hotkeys for all your different spells. That makes me think of that. And then what else do we have here? Just more action shots here. This is all very cool. Okay, these are characters that I'm not going to zoom in on right now. So characters, we've got Seifel Faribrand, who is not bound to any of the sins during the Nexus Ritual, so his childhood is significantly easier than his brother's. He's not having to fight off any sort of urges to commit these sins. He doesn't have to deal with that. So he grows up to be a kind-hearted yet naive young man, and he's usually obedient and willingly follows Let when he is up to some mischief. And so when it says mischief, it means that like maybe Let isn't like purely evil or something, you know, he just kind of goes, he gets out of control, you know, at some point, or just wants to see more of the world. He doesn't like being restricted. Like living in one place your whole life when you have these urges is probably counter, you know, to every sort of instinct that you might have in your body. So we also have Graham Stoneheim, who is a strong woman, taught the art of fighting to the twins. Oh, sorry, she taught the art of fighting to the twins. She can be harsh sometimes, especially with Let, because she sees great potential in him. She is an Archon and works closely with Enki. An Enki tail event is a Archon and a teacher to the twins. He's less strict than Graham. Sometimes he can even be seen as lax. His kind demeanor and his sense of humor make him a great person to be around. That sounds a lot like me actually as a teacher. Okay, I'm pretty lax, very kind demeanor. Kids, you know, they love my class. They do. Okay, and I'm always lax until I'm not, because sometimes you gotta be strict. Okay, you gotta draw the line. So that's like, honestly, between the trailer, you know, between so there's Graham, between the trailer, between this setup for the story, I am incredibly interested in this game. Like, everything that I've seen is very, very intriguing to me, and it's a game that I'm going to track, and definitely when we get more information, I'm going to have to think about locking down that pre-order, because right now it's kind of checking a lot of boxes for me. But I want to know at this point what you think about it. How you know, if you saw the trailer today, if you just watched it with me for the first time, if this is a game you're interested in. Are you bummed that it's action RPG, or are you okay with that? You know, I'm kind of on the fence, but overall, like, it's not a deal breaker for me, and I think that it looks like a game I'm going to enjoy. So thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a while. Thank you for coming by, and I'll see you all soon enough in another video.